It'll pick up. Wait, see, everyone's waiting. So right at 7:30 to come. Make sure you tell me as soon as it's still on.
I don't even know. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Lions Memorial Field. The Rolla Bulldogs 0-2 against Springfield Central 2-0. And alongside me with me tonight, Coach Dennis Knoll. Coach, it's rain. The conditions are wet. Looks like the rain has stopped, but it's pretty gusty.
Yeah, they've worked really hard on this field over the summer, and as best as it ever looks. The field looks real good tonight. I don't think the rain, anyway, no more than what we've had, will make much of a difference.
Talking about Springfield Central, they are 2-0. They opened up the season with a 14-0 shutout over Joplin. They looked good. They beat Joplin physically. The next win came 28-7 over Carthage. They're ranked second in the state in 4A by the Missouri sports writers and sportscasters. They made the playoffs last year, but was eliminated by Parkwood in the first round, so that was kind of a revenge factor there, getting back at them the first game of the season. On offense, they run the wing tee, a lot of misdirection, occasionally play action pass. Although only completing 10 passes in the first two games, they have a little bit of motion, not as much early in the season as they would like to. The offensive line is inexperienced but physically impressive. They have two big tackles, Charles Johnson, 242 pounds, and Vincent Warren, who's 245. Warren is considered by Coach Heidert as being, quote, a stud. The guards and centers just about average. They average right at 190 pounds. Offensive backs, the person to watch tonight will be Roland Young. He is the best in the Ozark Conference, according to Coach Heidert. He picked up 139 yards in the first game, 241 yards in the Carthage game, and he's the state champ triple jump, and he's the defending conference champ in the 100-meter run. He runs an under 100, an under 11-second 100, Coach.
You know, I saw Roland in the Springfield Invitational, and there was 5 or 6 of the larger Kansas City schools there that day, and Roland won about a 4-foot trophy for being the outstanding athlete there. And I've always been impressed with Roland. He seems to be very coachable, and he's a very polite young man.
In the backfield also with Roland Young is Buddy Starks. He's a 205-pound junior. He's a very tough inside runner, which could be to his advantage tonight with the wet field conditions. The quarterback tonight for Central is Jeff Robbins. Coach Heidert seems to think that Robbins might be the weak link to the Central offense. He's very small, but he's a great leader. He's a good rollout passer. He hands off the misdirection very, very well, but Coach Heidert still thinks his size and his thinking ability, he might be the weak link of this ball club.
Well, I think what Coach Heidert probably means by that is Jeff Robbins is not one of the most talented quarterbacks you'll ever see in ball handling and passing, but he's a very tough kid, and as you said, a very good leader. And there's been a lot of his brothers that's come through Central High School, and they've all been good athletes.
At the receiver position, a good spread end for Central, Matt Stringer. He's the coach's son. He's 145 pounds. He doesn't make any mistakes. On defense, Central will we'll see out of them a 4-3 defense. They also like to mix it up and play variations. Coach Heidert has a few tricks up his sleeve that he's going to pull on that 4-3, and we'll talk about it as soon as that comes up. The front four average about 175 pounds. They're very small but very quick, just like the offensive or the defensive line we saw for the Waynesville Tigers. As you see, the Rolla Bulldogs running through the goalpost, getting ready for the starting lineups. Linebackers are big and quick. They have a middle linebacker by the name of Charles Johnson. He also plays tackle, 242 pounds. He's a sophomore, young, inexperienced, but he's very big and he's very quick. He will clog things up inside. Other linebackers, Robert Melton, 205 pounds. He's a transfer from Kabul. He's good at the point of attack. He's very tough to run at. The other outside linebacker, Carl Young, is a brother to Charles Young. He's also a sprinter, very fast and very quick. Secondary, they have 3 of 4. In the defensive backfield, returning from last year's team, they run a man-to-man. They're in your face, and they like to bump and run, which forces the quarterback, which will be Lieber tonight, to throw a perfect pass. Bobby Herone is the D-back leader. He's the safety. He is an exceptional player. To get around the defensive backs and their bump and run, watch Rolla because Coach Hyder said they'll run the option in passing situations. You get those defensive backs bumping and running with the outside receivers, and they'll have to come back up for the pass. Also, he said, watch for the 64-65 drop roll pass moving pocket. We'll have Lieber move out with the whole line in the pocket to the right side of the field and have Snoop or at the tight end run a drive and then up to beat the defensive back. A couple key injuries for the Rolla Bulldogs we might talk about, Coach. Scott Loy has a sprained back. We won't see him tonight. James Hill will see, but he's got a hip pointer, so we don't know how much action he'll be in there. Tom Boding is out with a concussion. He's replaced by John Finch at defensive end. Offensive guard Scott Kickbush has a pinched nerve shoulder, and Todd Jones, also linebacker, has a pinched nerve in his shoulder. So we might, we'll still see those guys, but we don't know if they're going to be at 100% or not.
You know, Sam, the linebacker that moved in from Central, I believe Coach Stringer came from Kabul himself a year ago.
We don't want to mention. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. And the transition or the transfer came at the same time. Coach Hyder and I were talking about that the other day. So, but I think we're just about ready to get things underway here. We'll be back in just a moment for the starting lineups. 16-10. Last week they lost to St. Charles West 33-21 on the AstroTurf. St. Charles this week ranked 4th in the state, and it's ironic because the team they play this week is 2nd in the state, the Bulldogs from Central. Danny Hyder, his overall record is 28-22 in 5 years of being a head coach. He's 10-12 at Rolla up to this point. He's 18-10 from his years at Sullivan, 79-81. Hyder has not had a winning season, believe it or not, Coach, since my football season of 1980 when I was a senior in high school. We were 7-3 that year, made the state playoffs, and I'm just hoping, Coach Hyder, now that maybe I'm helping out a little bit up here in the booth, we can get a winning season this year.
I'll tell you what, he sure does put together an exciting football team. Every year he's been here, I've been very impressed. I like to see a lot of passing and a lot of motion, and that's what I'm sure everyone likes to see, and he puts together a very exciting game, and I'm sure this will not be an exception tonight.
Last week against St. Charles, we talked about briefly, Rolla's Air 84 passing attack got off the ground. Lieber was 14 of 25 for 230 yards, with passes being caught by 7 different receivers. Lieber also threw for 2 passing touchdowns last year, and I think we're just about ready for the starting lineups.
Help the rest to call a fair game and protect each and every one of us after the contest as we make the trip home. In your name we pray. Amen.
Well, instead of the starting lineups, it was the prayer. Now we're set for the starting lineups. The Bulldogs against the Bulldogs. Central and Rolla. Captains walking out on the field for the toss. Alan Ward, one of the captains, along with Mark Allen. Is that Eric Muse? All I can see is the blonde hair out there. Yeah, Mark Allen. Marcus Allen, number 24. Captains for Central, number 5, Chris Tracy. He's a defensive cornerback. And number 69 is Richard Rahagan, a guard, offensive guard. We might as well touch briefly on the starting lineups. I don't think we're going to get the teams running out there, but for Rolla on offense, quarterback will be Chris Lieber. Running back tonight, James Hill, as we said, hip pointer, but he'll still see some action in there. At the slot, Snoop Harris, number 5. Tight end will be Ricky Lawyer. At the spread end, Mark